I will be speaking about dedicated freight corridor project. I think it is one of the largest and biggest project undertaken by Indian Railways since independence. And as far as particularly for the survey industry and the consultants of survey industry, it offers lot of scope not only at the planning stage but also at the execution stage, because we are adopting design and build technology, so it provides lot of scope for the optimization by giving the alternate designs and the alignment. Since the next speaker is from RITES, they are doing for us the detailed surveying. So I will be covering only the aspects of the DFCCIL, because there are a lot of curiosity what is the DFC in total. So what was the need for the DFC actually? So first I will give the overlook of the Indian Railways. You see in the Indian map, the 16% of the total Indian route, railway route, the two diagonals and the golden quadrilateral, it constitutes only 16% of the total route length, but these routes carry more than 50% of the freight as well as the passenger traffic. And if you see the growth of the traffic, for the last 50 years since independence, 1950 to 2000, we grown from 73 GMT as far as the freight is concerned to 473 GMT, and in 10 years from 2000 to 2010, almost equal growth has taken place. It means our growth in the freight traffic is exponential. This is another way of representation. So what are the areas of concern for us, for the Indian Railways? The market share is falling. At the time of independence, we were 90% of the total freight traffic. Now we are carrying only 30%. There are a lot of capacity constraint on the high density routes, those six sections, and connectivity to hinterlands, remote areas is inadequate, terminal facilities are inadequate, and certain kind of cargo operation and freight operation, it require high axle load. And these few areas of mines as well as ports are not still connected by the rail, and we need to move the cargo at higher speed. So what are the options available with us? Either to upgrade the existing network, or to create a separate passenger corridor, or we create another corridor for the freight. So after a lot of deliberations and considering all the constraints, it was decided that we should go for the separate corridors for the freight. So by this way, two corridors presently have been envisaged. One is the Eastern Corridor. It starts from Ludhiana to Dankuni in West Bengal. It is approximately 1800 kilometers. And another corridor is Western Corridor. It starts from Dadri to Mumbai, and it is 1500 kilometers. This is another representation on the map. So for this Western Corridor, we will require to strengthen the another 2000 kilometers of the feeder routes, which will feed the cargo to these main corridors. And it's on Eastern Corridor. There is state-wise distribution passing for the corridors. Total length will be more than 3,300 kilometers. So this project was announced in 2005, and DFCCIL was incorporated in 2006, and CCEA gave approval for the project in 2007, and field work was started in 2009 with the Government of India funding. So for this purpose, the DFCCIL was incorporated, SPV was on 2006, board was in place in 2007. It is a Schedule A company with authorized capital of 8,000 crores, debt equity 2:1. So what are the objectives of this project? It is to create additional rail infrastructure to cater high level of transport demand, because we expect that with the higher GDP growth. Normally, it is estimated that the cargo movement rate is almost 1.5 times of the GDP growth. If GDP grows by 8%, the cargo movement requirement will be more than 12% per annum. And to reduce the unit cost of transportation and to develop the competition so that the tariff is reduced and for the benefit of the customers. To provide seamless and end-to-end solution to the customers. To segregate freight and passenger business. Create rail connectivity to bulk customers which are presently not using rails through PPP modes. IT packaging of freight services by running trains on the scheduled paths, freight trains. Increase rail share in freight, which has been decreasing continuously. So what will be the major change with the Indian Railways? So these are basically the dedicated freight. On this system we will be running higher trains, wider trains and the longer trains with higher axle loads and with the long haul. Presently the train length is about approximately 700 meters and now we will be running about 1.5 kilometer trains with trailing load of approximately 15,000 tons. And on certain routes, Western Corridor, we will be running double stack containers. With this, the axle load increases up to 32.5 ton, which is presently varying from 22.9 to 25 tons. And the speed of the freight train will be 100 km per hour. Since it is a freight line, so there will not be any stations, and only the operating stations will be there at every 40 kilometers. So what are the uniqueness of this project? This project passes through the 9 states, 60 districts, and it covers more than 2,500 villages and more than 3 lakh project affected people. So for this project, the land acquisition, preparation of plans, it has been a Herculean task, and to pay the compensation, which has been done almost, I can say, we have been doing the land acquisition for last 5-6 years. So it has been done as per the new act almost, as far as rehabilitation part is concerned. And for this, we have adopted a separate, unique system. Earlier, we were doing BOQ type of contracts. Now we are giving design build lump sum contract based on FIDIC. The cost of one contract is approximately 1,500 crores to 6,000 crores. And the documents are prepared by the reputed GCs, internationally approved. This I already told. For the purpose of laying of track, we will be using fully mechanized systems, and those are the technical things. Funding arrangement. Since initially in 2009 we started project with the Government of India funding, but later on for the Eastern Corridor, for portion from Ludhiana to Mughal Sarai, we are getting funding from the World Bank, and from Sonnagar to Dankuni, we are exploring possibility through PPP mode, and Sonnagar Mughal Sarai we are doing from the Government of India funds. On Western Corridor, the full corridor is funded by JICA. So for this project, this land acquisition was to the extent of 10,000 hectares, out of which 96% has been acquired, except the PPP portion. So statewide position. So presently the physical work is going on between Sonnagar, Mughal Sarai, Khurja, Bhavpur, Rewadi, Iqbalgarh, this is mostly in Rajasthan, Surat, Mumbai only on the bridges, and for the balance portion the contracts are being fixed, and these are at advanced stages. So what we will be doing for the operations? DFCCI will maintain the infrastructure, physical infrastructure, and we will manage the trains, the rolling stock as well as the cargo and other things will be provided by Indian Railways. Maintenance of these rolling stock will be done by Indian Railways, and we will maintain the physical infrastructure like OHE and the tracks. With this corridors, all the level crossings will be eliminated either by road underbridges or road overbridges on these routes. As a financial aspect, freight will be collected by Indian Railways. We will be reimbursed the operation and maintenance cost through track access charges. We expect that with these corridors, the operation cost, per unit operation cost will be half in comparison to the Indian Railway cost. So we are working on these 2 corridors, physical, but there is planning for the 4 future corridors. These are East-West corridor from Kolkata to Mumbai, North-South corridor, Delhi-Chennai, East Coast corridor, Kharagpur-Vijayawada, Southern corridor, Chennai-Goa. On this, PATS study is going on by RITES, and they will be speaking how they have done this work. This was the TOR which we have given to RITES. To the extent possible, they are expected to be parallel to Indian Railways, the tours in exceptional circumstances, and these are the technical requirement for the survey on which they will be deliberating. RITES, next speaker. So DFCCIL, with the construction of these corridors, it offers a lot of opportunity for many industries, construction industry, equipments, PPP, and development of the economic zones like DMICDC, high capacity rolling stocks, logistic parks, freight business, definitely for the survey equipments and consultancies. With this, the transit time for the movement of cargo will reduce by half, say Mumbai to Delhi in 24 hours. There will be possibility of running timetable goods trains, movement of even 3-tier automobile cargo on certain routes. Roll on and roll off services for road vehicles like we are doing in Konkan Railway on some scale. And it will also provide an opportunity to develop industrial corridors like DMIC on other sectors also. This is one representation for this DMIC, that it will have the impact 150 kilometers on either side of the this freight line. And it is estimated that it will influence about 178 million people through this industrial corridor. DFC, with this DFC, it is expected that we will be saving about 457 million ton of the carbon CO2 emission in next 30 years. So it is a green project. Yeah, that's all. Thank you. So this was a brief about the DFC.